absolutely. So my name is Thelma Castle. I am a teacher at West Wilkes High School in North Carolina. I teach drones and engineering classes. This is my 29th year teaching. Before being a teacher, I was an electronics engineer and a metals machinist. So that's a
Wow.
little bit about me. Okay. My students asked me what time it was there. There's a couple of my students back over here. They're
Hi.
working
Hello.
designing bridges. So they were asking me what time it was there.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
it's exactly
30.
30 minutes past 6 p.m. here in India.
Okay, thank you. I'm good. How are you today?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you. My name is Dikshit
Wonderful.
and I'm from B section from Jilla Parshad High School, Ailvaram. I'm so
Mhm.
lucky to interact with you, ma'am. Can I ask a question?
Absolutely, please.
How do you incorporate real world engineering problems into your classroom lessons?
How do I incorporate real world into my classrooms? Okay, I can show you if you don't mind. I'll walk around the shop. Jameson, can you hand me that house down? So some of the things that we do in the engineering classes is I have the students design homes. Can you see this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is thank you, Jameson. This is an off the grid house that was designed for uh, um, in Canada, where it's much colder than it is here where we are. We do the students, I don't know if you can see back there. Do you see those dogs, those teddy
Yeah,
bears?
yeah, yeah.
So those are actually robotic dogs that the students designed to go in a hospital to try to help little kids not be afraid of going to the hospital. So we have robotics there. We have we use a lot of I'm not sure if you have these kind of dolls in India,
Yeah, we
James.
have. We have.
Okay, can you hold the back end of this and I can explain to them what this does? Just pull that part out. Okay, can you guys see the back part of that Jameson has in his hand?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is a real world example of a student who wanted to, we have a lot of trash alongside the roads here in the United States. And
Mhm.
so this is a student that runs alongside the roads. And so that little prototype is a way for you to have like a bag behind you, and it picks up the trash as you run, and it creates like drag so that it makes you build your muscles, and at the same time it cleans the road. And then oh my gosh, I hate to even show you this, but I hope you'll use your imagination here. So um this big blue tank that's right here, we fill that with water, and the students have to design a device that will generate electricity from the waves that we create inside of that tank. We call it our wave tank. It's just basically a feed trough, but it works for us. Here is one of our big robots. I'm not sure if you can see it back there.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Um, so we do a lot where we try to look at the sustainable development goals and see if we can figure out ways to help things. And like up there are some examples. And I know that looks like a armored tank up there. It's not. It's for another project, but I'll explain that one to you later. We also do wind turbines, we do solar, we do a lot of NASA type projects as
Hello,
well.
ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine, ma'am. Thank you. This is
Wonderful.
Nitvika. This
Pardon
is
me?
Nitvika from ninth grader.
Hold on just a second. Pick up the chair and carry it across. I could not hear you because a student was dragging his chair across my room. Could you
Yes.
say that again, please?
This is Nitvika. I am a ninth grader from U.S.A school, Ailvaram. I am so lucky to interact with you, ma'am. Here, I would like to ask you a question. Can I ask, ma'am?
Please.
Who inspired you to become a teacher? What is your goal in life as a teacher?
Okay. So I wanted to be a teacher when I was in high school because I loved art, and the teacher's name was Mr. Donald Orner. And he taught me how to do silversmithing, and I just loved it. But because I did not come from a really rich family, I did not get to go to college until after I was a grown up and had already worked. So I went to school while I worked and became an engineer later. It was much later, like I was probably 25 years old when I started doing that. And then I didn't become a teacher until I was really, really old. I can't even tell you how old I was. So 30 years ago, basically. So I was 30 years old when I became a teacher. And my goals as a teacher is to make or help students love to engineer as much as I do. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
Thank you so
I am
Good
Christina.
morning.
I am an eighth grader. I am glad to meet you. Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yes, you may.
What strategies do you use to support students who struggle with complex engineering concepts?
Oh, that's a really good question. So believe it or not, I start out with little projects to begin with, and I'll show you an example. Some people think that big kids, high schoolers, and even the teachers that I teach wouldn't use like simple things, but I use little things like this book. It's called El Chupacabras, and it's about a chupacabra that drinks all the blood out of the goats. And so I use this as like a problem solving, and the students find ways to trap. Hold on, let me show you a chupacabra. And one of you guys shut the door for me, please. Thank you. This is a chupacabra. So I use simple manipulatives. So I pull the chupacabra across the table, and they have to design a trap for the chupacabra. So I use a lot of simple problem solving things. So you learn how to do the engineering design process. And then I try, like for students who really struggle, I try to help them find a project that they would like to do on their own individually, that they can use that whole engineering design process. Bye, kids. Thank you. They're leaving us right now. Bye, kiddos. Next week. Next week. We'll do conferences next week. I apologize.
no problem. Yes.
Did that answer your question? Would
Yes,
that help?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning.
I'm Radhika. I'm an eighth grader. I'm so glad to interact with you. Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Please.
How do you integrate real-world applications into your STEM curriculum?
Oh, okay. Real world applications. So some of the things that I do is like with the drone students, they have to get their FAA pilot's license, which is a real license, you know, like your car license. But for it, you have to, for the drones, they have to take a test with the FAA. We also do like we grow plants and vegetables for people in the community and for the foods class. We do a lot. Oh, we're getting ready to do a project with the Jet Propulsion Lab out in California, where we're going to use their drones to monitor CO2. So we try to pull in as much real life thing as we can. And my students, another thing that's both real life and it also helps with the students who are struggling is for them to teach other people. And they go to the elementary school and they teach the fifth graders how to do engineering. And then this year, next month, we are going to travel. I guess it's about 30 miles from where we live, and I'm not sure what that is in kilometers, but there is a school that has asked us to come and have my students teach their whole kindergarten, which is like 5 years old, all the way up to 12-year-olds STEM and engineering practices. So we're going to try to do that. And I think that really helps with the students. And there's all kinds of, I'm trying to think what else we do. We do a lot of solar stuff and things like that. And it all relates to careers in the engineering field.
Hello, madam.
Good morning. Good evening for you.
My name is Gayatri Salvi. I am studying seventh grade. Can I ask one question, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely.
How do you stay updated with the latest advancements in STEM education and technology?
Oh, so that's a really good question. I know that people think that once you become whatever it is that you're going to be, whether it's a teacher or a doctor, that you just have, all the knowledge you need and you don't ever need to keep learning. So I keep trying to get more classes. I take, like right now, I just enrolled in the University of San Diego the other day in global studies. I also am working on a degree in archaeology because after I eventually decide not to be a teacher anymore, I think I might like to go to archaeology. I do all kinds of extra workshops, and I teach them. And by teaching them, I think that makes me have to learn a little bit more. So I work with NASA through something called Space Ambassadors. I also do the Fulbright, things that Fulbright offers. So it's just constant learning. Never stop learning. I read a lot, listen to books, that sort of thing.
Thank you so much. Now it's my turn to ask a few questions from my side. And you are a space ambassador, and what a privilege to explore the space related activities. So, in this connection, I have a question. What educational programs are available for students at NASA headquarters?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. So NASA, yeah. Oh, if you love data as much as I love data, I'm not sure if you can see this, but
Yes,
if you
yes.
go to the NASA website and there's an area called My NASA Data, it has like global climate data, that sort of thing. And students can access it, teachers can access it. I also do something called Globe, Globe Observer, and it's an app that you can download, and your students can use this. Students, you'll love this. You can use your phones, and you go outside and you look at the sky and you go, okay, what kind of cloud is that? And then you look at your phone and you put the data in, you take some pictures all around, and you send that information in. And NASA, with the satellite train that comes across, they're able to take pictures of the clouds from the top, and they will send you pictures of your clouds from the top side, and you get to see your pictures from the bottom. Do you use that already? Globe
No.
Observer? Oh, and it's free. Oh, you should so do that. And you should so do the My NASA Data. And this summer I was up at Langley, and I had to develop a lesson to present there. So what we did is we talked about how long it takes like communications to happen between Earth and say a satellite, or Earth and the rover on Mars, that sort of thing. And so the students did space latency using our drones. So some of them just came in. So what they did is they tried to simulate a delay in communications between the person sending the information and the drone receiving it, and then the drone being able to respond. But definitely go to the NASA, and I will send you some links because there are some fabulous projects that the kids will love to do. And the climate research, if you guys decide to do this, let me know. The
Yes.
climate research on this My NASA Data is great, and I have some lessons that involve like protecting penguins and their habitats and things like that from global warming.
Okay. Thelma, here is one more question. So, you are the NASA Space Education Ambassador. Can anyone become a NASA Space Ambassador outside United States of America?
I'm not sure about that. I think the ones, this is just their fourth cohort. You know how Fulbright has cohorts. This is just the fourth cohort. So I think that they do want to expand that. And I will talk to Joby. She's the person in charge of it. And I will find out for you, and I will send that information because I think the more of us that are on board, the better.
Yes. Yes. So another question is, what kind of job opportunities are there with NASA?
Oh gosh, there are all kinds of those. So when I was at Langley this summer, we're thinking, okay, we're going here just to see what the astronauts do,
Yeah,
what the
please.
engineers do, and all of that. So they told us that they have just hundreds of jobs. They need everybody from like communication specialists. They need people that can do promotions, you know, make videos, make posters, make web pages. And then we went into one of the engineering areas, and they had like literally it was a room that's probably, I don't know, two sizes the size of my classroom, and it was full of 3D printers, like just banks and banks and banks of 3D printers. So they needed people that could design and then 3D print objects for them. They actually have like their own cafeteria services, so they needed people to work in the cafeteria. There are just so many jobs for every person's interest. You know, no matter what you're interested in, they had a place for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You have been drone and engineering teacher. So almost for 29 years, am I right? 20 years.
Are
20
they
years.
what?
So you have had 20 years experience as a teacher.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So do all the schools in the United States of America have these drone and engineering classes?
Not many. So they've had the engineering classes, many schools, like for a long, long time. But I guess it was about 4 or 5 years ago, um, I used to teach robotics here, just engineering and the robotics class. And our materials were getting really bad. So the school system was like, do we invest in more robotics materials or do we do something else? And so the director and I talked, and we were like, he asked if I could possibly get my pilot's license and see what we could do. And I said, yes. So since then, we've done that. And I think there's probably maybe maybe 25 schools in North Carolina that does this, but some of the teachers that do this are fabulous. Like I just like, oh, you are just awesome. Give them kudos. And I think more and more schools will do it because of companies like Zipline. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Zipline.
Yeah.
They have started a branch here in North Carolina, and so the kids can do an internship with Zipline
Yeah.
and get employment and like do power. It's supplies our electricity. They hire the drone operators to fly along the power lines for damage. So there's lots of, I think it's a growing thing, and I think more and more schools will have it eventually. It's just breaking in right now, though.
Okay, thank you. May I ask one more question?
Yes.
Okay. So drone technology in India, as per my knowledge, it is used in agricultural sector and maybe the movie industry. It is used for the aerial shots, long shots.
Yes.
So these are the two sectors, as per my knowledge, drone is widely used. So could you please tell us how the drone technology is used in different sectors in United States of America?
Oh, okay. So for us, like you said, it is used in videos. I will send you the link. One of my students did a video his sophomore year, so that was 2 years ago, for a town called Morganton. And he went in, he flew through the town, and then he edited it and made a commercial video for them to put out to do that. They also use it. Are you familiar with NASCAR?
No.
Racetrack? Okay. So our county is very integrated with NASCAR. NASCAR actually started here in Wilkes County with the old moonshine runners running moonshine. And so can one of you answer the door, please? So over at the NASCAR racetrack, they use drones over there. The students actually went over there back in the spring and filmed some things over there using the drones. It's used in real estate. Many of the students, there's a couple of them started a real estate business where they fly over people's houses to get shots of the house above so they can sell their house. It's used in medical industries. Here in North Carolina, we have one hospital that is like on one part of a campus, and the research center is like far on the other side of the campus. And so they fly blood samples from the hospital to the research center using the drones. And then, of course, you have the big movement towards people using the drones to deliver food and that sort of thing. We have that as well. But I do think it's going to become more and more of a thing, especially for delivery, but also like in industry to look at things to make sure, like inspect bridges. You know, a lot of people here in the United States use it to do infrastructure, look at dams, look at bridges and things like that. So I think that's going to happen all around the world. I really do. And there's some really good drones out there that are not super expensive, because my student that did the video, he borrowed my drone to film the video for that town, and the money that they paid him, he bought his own drone. So
Oh.
it's kind of like you become self-sufficient even as a 10th grader.
That's great. So here is my last question. I know that every minute is very precious for you. Maybe you have the students out there. So your students are so energetic and they love to listen to your classes because they are so interactive classes using the drone technology and engineering. So what do most of your students become, I mean, after graduation?
Oh gosh. Well, most of them end up going like to college, either a 2-year or 4-year. And the majority of them end up in business, I think, more in business as the background. And then I do have the kids that go on and go like to NC State University and do engineering, but they like, I have one that's a really good civil engineer. He graduated about 5 years ago. So it's usually either business or like the engineering fields.
Okay, thank you so much for giving
Welcome.
us a great time to explain the so many questions. Now, may I request you to give a message to my students? A message.
Oh, a message. Okay. All right. So always everybody asks me, you know, what do I try to live by and what do I want my students to live by? And it's a Latin phrase and it's called experientia docere, and it means experience teaches. And just because we think we know, you know, what we want to do, or um you know, I don't like this or I don't like that. Try it. Just try it. Try out all kinds of things before you decide. And then once you do that, be good at it. Just be good at it to the very end.
Okay, thank you so much. And could you please take us a virtual tour of your classroom? Because my students are so curious to look at the things out there.
Okay. So this is, we have a smart board. Right now it's not connected. Okay, you're going to find quickly, I am a movie buff, so my students are always buying me movie stuff. So you're going to see here, I'm just going to go around. You'll get to see some of my students too. So I'm going to hold this so you can
Yes,
see.
yes,
So wall-size posters. This is just a collection of odds and ends. Kids,
yes,
can you guys wave as I go by? They're having breakfast right now. So
yes,
this is the where we do all the computer type work. You can see we've got the sustainable development goals there.
yes,
We
yes,
have our maps of the world, maps of the United States. And hold on. So this is the classroom part.
yes.
This is the hallway. I'm in a building. There's just me and one other teacher. So this is my shop. I'll do a quick go around here.
Yes. Thank
So my shop has like inside the big cabinet here is the drones.
you.
Over there is like things that are like poisonous, like paints and thinners and stuff like that. Then we have like shop prototyping equipment. We have 3D printers back there, and then over here, workbenches, more 3D printers. Down there is robotics, and then the rest of the class. I'm apologizing.